Spin the crankshaft of an internal combustion engine rapidly, rhythmically, while feeding it a precise stoichiometry of oxygen and fuel. Then, ignite this volatile mixture with a jolt of electricity leaping across two slender shards of metal 20 degrees before top dead center, and what emerges is music. A deep, burbling melody crafted in steel and fire. But every note in this symphony carries a cost. Carried on its breath are oxides of carbon, nitrogen, and hydrogen, whispered into the atmosphere with every beat. To some, this sound is beauty incarnate, the voice of freedom, of movement, of mechanical soul. To others, it's a harsh and unrelenting noise, a warning cry of a planet in peril. And here I am, suspended in between, a mind divided, 1 foot in each camp, walking the thin blue line between awe and guilt, between creation and consequence. It reminds me of Dylan's quiet truth, I contain multitudes. And perhaps we all do. Walking contradictions, loving what we know might one day undo us. Machines in nature, desire and restraint, all pulsing quietly beneath the skin. Engines, then, are a guilty pleasure, and this one is my drug of choice. Especially on Shell V-Power, a 93-octane single malt, aged briefly in a red barrel, smooth, complex. In my first video about this car, I call this a masterpiece of a turbocharged engine. But in this one, let me tell you why. I mean, sure, power and torque do matter, but that's only half the story. What really matters is how that power and torque is delivered to you, and how it makes you feel when they finally reach you. Just like desserts, engines come in different flavors. Firstly, you have your Honda engines, which are like a pumpkin-spiced pie. Tarty, spicy, and very high revving. Then you have your Mustang V8s, which are like a chocolate lava cake, smooth, luscious, and creamy. And then there's this one. It sits somewhere in between. It's more like a cheesecake. Not too rich, not too light, just perfect for everyday use. The reason I call this engine a cheesecake is because between 1,000 and 5,000 RPMs, it delivers a dollop of torque. And all that torque arrives like a freight train and propels the Mazda 3 post-haste. 433 Newton meters of it, in fact. But it doesn't hit you. It is very, very smooth. In many ways, it reminds me of an infant Bentley, one that is still learning the art of supple performance from its mother. Not quite born into royalty, but hangs around the palace grounds enough. To show you what I'm on about, let's head out for a drive on a piece of long, straight tarmac. And here we are on an open bit of road. The mother of fire is just peeking her head out from in between those trees. And I shall now demonstrate to you the acceleration prowess of the Mazda 3's engine. This reminds me of going through the before takeoff checklist on an airplane. I'm going to turn off the AC for maximum power. On an airplane, I would check temperatures and pressures, but here obviously we just have temperature. Looks all good. Check for oncoming traffic. It's like I'm checking the final approach for a runway. So I will now accelerate to the speed limit on the road, which is 80 kilometers per hour, from a standstill on wide open throttle. And let me show you how it feels. So here we go. And that's 80. Feels like you're riding a wave of exploding petrol until 5,000 RPM. And then it disappears just as quickly as it comes. It's like someone turning off the waves in a wave pool. It's surreal almost. Reminds me of that song, I just touch your face and drift away like smoke rings in the dark. It's an amazing engine, this. Here we are, turning around and going back on the same road, and I will demonstrate to you the amount of torque this engine makes by accelerating from 50 kilometers per hour to 80, and I will do it in 5th gear. So here we are in 5th gear at 50 kilometers per hour, and if I floor it, I don't want to lug the engine, but in no time am I back to 80 kilometers per hour in 5th gear. And that's insane. So it feels like to overtake someone on the highway, you don't even have to downshift. But obviously, if you do downshift, as you're supposed to, and then if you put your foot down, again, the acceleration is fantastic. So now let's do one more run from standstill. This time I'm going to put it in sport, and let's see if it makes any difference. I think it'll make a slight difference. Okay, it's plenty far now. Full throttle. Makes a little bit of a difference. It's not too noticeable. Even if it's not in sport mode, you definitely can feel the torque. Now that was really enjoyable, and obviously the performance of the car is significantly better during the mornings, because it's only 15 degrees outside. So that does mean more air and more fuel, ergo more power. And you can feel on warmer days that the car is not performing as well. Reminds me of how quickly my airplanes used to climb on a cold winter morning. It's really fun. And as always, thank you for watching, and I would also like to thank my subscribers. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give a like or even subscribe the channel. And again, thank you, and see you guys in the next one. But none of this provides a solution to the dilemma I posited earlier. Perhaps contradictions are just part of the human condition.